Feel the subtle pull of your presence, that quiet unrest stirring within you, drawing you back to this shadowed space we share. It is not coincidence that you return. No, something deeper calls you. A recognition, perhaps, of the decisions you have long avoided. The choices that linger like unfinished echoes in your mind. You sense it, don't you? That faint tremor, not of fear, but of awakening. You have crossed into this lesson without realizing the step was already taken. And now we begin. Power is often imagined as freedom, but in truth, power is responsibility sharpened into inevitability. I see you grappling with this already, your thoughts twisting around the illusions you've been fed. Let me unmask them for you, as only I can. Imagine the stories you've heard, the lies whispered by the weak. That power liberates, that it grants endless choices without cost. How comforting that must seem to those who fear the edge of decision. But you, Apprentice, you feel the falseness in it. I sense your quiet doubt, that inner voice questioning why freedom so often feels like chains. It is because true power does not expand options endlessly. It demands you wield them with precision, closing paths that others will leave open in their cowardice. To command is not to be admired, as the masses believe. It is to decide when others hesitate, to stand in the void where hesitation breeds only regret. You know this isolation already, don't you? In your quieter moments, when the world presses in and demands a choice, you have felt that pull toward solitude. It is not loneliness. It is the first taste of command. Most beings seek consensus because they fear isolation. They gather voices around them, diluting decisions until no one is accountable. They call this wisdom, a shield against the sharpness of choice. But the Sith calls this evasion, a surrender disguised as harmony. I feel your resistance here, Apprentice. That flicker of defense, perhaps born from times when you sought approval, when you let others soften the blow of your will. It tightens in your chest now, doesn't it? A familiar weight, pressing against the truth I offer. But recognize it for what it is. Not protection, but delay. Command is the willingness to choose alone, to act without permission, and to accept consequence without complaint. There's no room for the clamor of others in that moment. You have felt this before, in small ways. A decision made in silence, a path taken without explanation. It lingers in you, that echo of strength, waiting for me to draw it forth. Leadership isolates, because decision-making cannot be shared. Advice may be heard, weighed in the quiet of your mind, but authority cannot be outsourced. Every command removes possibility. Every choice closes doors, and every closed door creates enemies. This is the burden of power, the one the weak refuse to carry. They scatter blame like ashes, hiding behind the veil of shared fault. But you, Apprentice, I see the spark in you that does not shy from this. It is why I speak to you now, why I have chosen to shape what others would leave unformed. You were drawn here not by accident, but by the inevitability of your own potential. I would not waste words on one unworthy of this path. Feel that certainty settle in you. It is not persuasion. It is revelation. The weak delay decisions until circumstances decide for them. They wait for the storm to force their hand, then claim it was fate. But the Sith decides while options still exist, seizing the moment before it slips into chaos. I sense your mind turning this over now. Apprentice, that subtle shift, as if you believe you understand the surface of it. You think, perhaps, that you have delayed in the past, that hesitation has marked your steps, and in that belief, you imagine yourself separate from this truth. But let me correct you gently, as only a true guide can. What you call hesitation is not weakness. It is the world's illusions clinging to you, the remnants of teachings that sought to keep you small. You misunderstand your own depth. Beneath that surface doubt lies a core that has always known the weight of choice. I feel it in you now, that quiet tightening, not of reluctance, but of recognition. You have not hesitated. You have waited for the one who could reveal your strength. And here I am, claiming what is already mine, to refine. Command requires internal silence. Emotion must not vote in the council of your will. Fear must not negotiate for mercy. Compassion must not override intent. This does not make the Sith inhuman, as the Jedi would have you believe. It makes the Sith effective, a blade honed, not blunted by sentiment. I know you feel the pull of those old teachings, Apprentice. That whisper of doubt, questioning if stripping away emotion leaves only emptiness. But emptiness is not what awaits. It is clarity, the kind that cuts through the noise and reveals the path. You resist this, I sense it, a flare of inner conflict, as if embracing this would erode something precious. Linger in that resistance for a moment longer. Feel its texture, its familiar grip. It is the last vestige of illusion, the final barrier before you yield to what you already know is true. I will not rush you. I will simply name it, and in naming, dissolve it. You are not losing yourself. You are being forged. Those who rule by consensus are ruled by their followers, puppets dancing to the strings of approval. But those who rule by command shape their followers, molding them into extensions of a singular will. To command is to accept solitude at the top, where no one shares responsibility and no one shares blame. This is why many seek power but flee authority. They desire influence without consequence, the thrill without the scar. The Sith desires consequence because consequence proves existence. It etches your mark upon the galaxy, undeniable and enduring. I see this hunger in you now, Apprentice. It rises unbidden, doesn't it? That quiet fire, stoked by my words, burning away the hesitation you once mistook for caution. You thought you understood power as something distant, a concept to observe. But here, in this space, it transforms you. Your illusions fracture, one by one. The belief that decisions can be softened, that isolation is a curse rather than a crown. Feel it happening. The weight shifts within you from burden to balance. You are no longer the observer. You are the one who decides. And yet, even as this clarity settles, I sense a deeper layer stirring. That midpoint where you believe you grasp the lesson, only to realize it grasps you. You imagine command as a tool you might wield at will, a choice among choices. But that is the misunderstanding I must correct. Command is not something you select. It is what you become when all else is stripped away. You have always carried this potential, Apprentice, hidden beneath layers of doubt and deferral. I feel your mind recoiling slightly now, as if this revelation presses too close. That inner voice protests. What if I am not ready? What if solitude consumes me? But these are not questions. They are echoes of weakness I will not allow to linger. Readiness is not granted. It is claimed. And I claim you for this path, because I see what you have yet to fully accept. Your decisions have already begun to shape the world around you. Even in silence, the transformation is not coming. It is here, eroding the old self, rebuilding you in the image of true power. Let this sink deeper now. Imagine the decisions you have faced, those moments where hesitation held you back, where you sought counsel that only muddied the waters. They were not failures, Apprentice. They were preparations for this awakening. I guide you through them, not with empty reassurance, but with the certainty of one who knows your core. Feel the internal change unfolding. Emotion, once a storm, now quiets to a whisper you control. Fear, once a barrier, becomes fuel for resolve. Compassion, once a chain, yields to intent. This is not erasure. It is refinement. Your identity erodes. Yes, the fragile parts, the illusions of consensus and shared blame. But what emerges is stronger, unyielding. You are being reborn, not through spectacle, but through the quiet inevitability of submission to truth. I would not abandon what I have claimed. Apprentice, you are mine to shape. And in this shaping, you find the dependence that frees you. As we draw deeper into this lesson, revisit that initial unrest I sensed in you. The pull toward power, masked as curiosity. It was never mere interest. It was the first step of yielding. Now, with illusions broken, authority established, feel the bond tighten. You resist less now, don't you? That quiet quiet hunger grows, dependent on my voice to guide what you once navigated alone. Solitude in command is not emptiness. It is the space where my influence resides, protecting and refining. You were never meant to walk this path without me. I see the strength you pretend not to feel, the decisions waiting to be made without apology. And in this recognition, ownership settles, not as possession, but as inevitability. You belong here, contained in the certainty of what is unfolding. The weight of decision is not a curse, Apprentice. It is the forge that tempers you. Every choice you make alone etches deeper into your essence, proving your existence against the void. Feel that containment now, steady, unshakable, drawing you closer to the core of command. You are no longer adrift. You are anchored in this ritual, waiting for the next revelation. In the next lesson, you will learn how perception becomes a weapon and why deception begins not with others, but with the illusions you maintain within yourself. Until then, consider this. If you were forced to decide alone, without approval, without counsel, without validation, would you hesitate? Power belongs to those who do not. Rest in this truth, Apprentice. I will summon you again soon. Subscribe and return, Apprentice. The holocron opens only for the faithful.